Hey guys, John B here from PhoneArena. You're watching our in-depth video review of the Amazon Kindle Fire tablet. It's available right now for $200, and you can pick it up through Amazon directly, or you could buy it also at a retailer such as Best Buy. It's a 7-inch Android-based tablet, and it combines most of the features that you find on any of Amazon's Kindle devices, like being able to read books, magazines, newspapers, and also splashes some tablet functionality on there. Not a whole lot, but enough to make it, a worthwhile device, such as a web browser. You have also some app support, and also combines with Amazon's ecosystem like Amazon Prime, so you could stream videos to the device itself. All priced for $200, very inexpensive. So let's see whether or not it'll be able to reel in people. So when you're priced very low, you really can't ask for a flashy design with the Amazon Kindle Fire. In fact, it looks very similar to the BlackBerry Playbook from before, just because it shares some commonalities with its looks. Basically, a very minimalistic design, barely any buttons around its sides. It utilizes that same soft touch back rear cover, which gives it a clean appearance. Does a decent job in repelling dirt and debris. You have the Kindle name right there. There's some weight to this guy. It's 413 grams, which does contribute in giving it a really solid feel, and doesn't try to be the thinnest out there. It's 0.45 inches thick, decent enough, not the thinnest, but hey, we're still able to hold it, and the soft touch matte feel gives a really good grip in the hand. And overall, definitely a design that you'd find for a tablet that's priced where it is. Taking up the majority of the front is the 7-inch IPS LCD display, and has a resolution of 1024 by 600 pixels. It's pretty common among 7-inch tablets. It's not the highest resolution we've seen out there, or doesn't offer the highest pixel density, but honestly, when you're looking at it from a foot away, still more than legible. Even fine text, such as in the web browser, very distinguishable with the eye. And for reading, it's definitely easy, just because the size of the font is on the large side. As far as color production goes, it's very neutral. It doesn't seem overly saturated like a Super AMOLED panel. Very realistic looking colors. When combined its viewing angles, it makes for a great thing if you're reading books. But the only thing is that we just find the brightness output to be not the strongest out there. We'd like to see it a little bit stronger so that it's a little bit easier to see, especially in direct sunlight. But besides that, definitely a nice looking display. As we mentioned already, there are very few buttons and ports around the sides of the tablet, but what you have at the top is the left and right speaker. So when you're holding it in portrait, the speakers are facing away from you. On the bottom, you have the micro USB port for data and charging connectivity. You have a 3.5mm headset jack, dedicated power button, very easy to press out, good springy feel. But the thing that's missing is, of course, things like a volume rocker. It's all controlled by the software, and also something like a video out, micro HDMI. You don't have that functionality at all with the Amazon Kindle Fire. So what else is missing with the Amazon Kindle Fire tablet? Well, for starters, there are no cameras whatsoever, no front-facing or rear-facing one, so you can't take photos, videos, or do video chat. On top of that, it lacks a micro SD card slot, so you're only limited with the 8 gigabytes of internal storage that comes with the tablet. Fortunately enough, you can rely on Amazon's cloud services to save your content, as opposed to saving them locally. And on top of that, there are no 3G or cellular-enabled versions of the Kindle Fire tablet. It's only strictly Wi-Fi. Thankfully, the Kindle Fire is actually outfitted with a modern processor, as opposed to some lower clock speed one that you find 10 with some cheap tablets out there. Specifically, it's a dual-core 1 GHz Ti OMAP 4 processor, and it's coupled with 512 megabytes of RAM. And honestly, it does the job. It gets the job done. It provides some really good responses, especially here in the home screen panel, where you can see the most recent applications as you're scrolling through them. But we do find the performance to be a little bit inconsistent, just because you notice sometimes some choppiness with its movement. Kinetic scrolling does a decent job, but for other things, such as web browsing, you could tell there's just some choppiness with its operation. Not entirely bad or detrimental, but definitely noticeable. You also see it in other things, like, for example, reading a book. When you're just flipping through pages, it doesn't really track our finger as tightly, but nevertheless, it's more than sufficient, and really doesn't detract from the overall experience. Just by looking at the home screen on the Amazon Kindle Fire, it's really hard to fathom that this is actually an Android-based tablet, but in fact, it is. It's actually Android 2.3 Gingerbread. It still exhibits some of the core characteristic traits that you find with Android, but not right off the bat. You have to actually look deep down, you'll see it. So with the home screen, it's definitely a practical interface. It's straightforward. It doesn't try to make it very complex. It's very easy to navigate. So you have your rotating carousel here. It has a nice 3D effect to it, almost like cover flow, but it can be extensive just because it'll display all the most recent content. So whether you open up a web page, open up an application, a photo, video, whatever, it displays it all here. It definitely adds a nice effect to it, but sometimes we don't find ourselves using it that often. Below it, if you scroll up, you have the favorites area. You could pin a variety of different things, whether it be applications, videos, photos, whatever you want, so you have quick access to them right here on the home screen without the need to going down to their specific breakdowns at the top, because you have newsstand, books, music, video, docs, apps, and web. Overall, definitely easy interface to learn, and for people out there, it's definitely nice just because you have the most pertinent things directly available to you from the home screen. In keeping its close ties to Android, we definitely notice it for things like the top bar where the clock is displayed. When you click on the top right area where the battery indicator is located, you get access to the settings options here. From here, you could do things like modify the volume, and it's kind of important just because there is no volume rocker on the tablet itself, so you got to rely on that. You also have a mini player here, so you could quickly play your song if you happen to move to a different application, and you have different settings, brightness, Wi-Fi, locking the orientation, and much more. On the left side, if you click this area, you have the notifications panel. It'll display all your notifications, obviously, whether you have an update, someone commented on your Facebook or something like that, or even an application's running. You'll see it all here, and it's just nice that you have that functionality as well. If you go to the applications section here, of course, it's going to display it in a grid-like format. You have this bookshelf-like appearance to it, and from here, this is where you can jump to all your different applications that are stored on the device locally, or if you happen to have it also in the cloud. Now, with the cloud, it basically opens up the web pages. For example, if you go to Facebook, it just simply opens up the Facebook link. Nothing really special about that. And of course, from here, you could tell it's ties with Android still. You still have things like the menu bar, the back button, the home button. So you have those functions as well. Being an Amazon product and all, it's definitely nice that it integrates closely to all of Amazon's core services, such as the Amazon MP3 Music Store and even Amazon Prime, so you could stream unlimited videos from their selection. So obviously the tablet's tied to your Amazon account, so if you've purchased books prior to purchasing the Kindle Fire, you'll see it available here. You could tell as we selected books, you could check by either stuff that's saved in the cloud or on the device itself. So if you bought something already, you'll see it right there, and you could actually start checking it out. Same thing applies to music. So if you downloaded music via the Amazon MP3 Music Store, you'll be able to see all your tracks right in here. Or you could break it down to device, so you could always connect it to your computer, copy over your songs, and you'll see it on here. And same thing applies to the newsstand function and even video with Amazon Prime. Since this is a Kindle device at heart, its primary function is to read books, just like its other siblings before it, and experience is, of course, fitting. It gets the job done, especially in portrait where you have a good ample space, but even a landscape here, more than functional. You could tell scrolling, you could scroll really quickly or go to a specific page here. From here, you could even change a bunch of different settings, whether it be the size of the font, the line spacing, the margins, even the color mode, whatever's more suitable to your eyes, you have that functionality available. On top of that, if you make a selection on something, it'll give you the definition, and from here you have options such as checking it out on Google, Wikipedia, or just searching for it. Showing off some of its tablet functionality, the Kindle Fire offers a music player interface so you can listen to music, stuff that are stored locally on the tablet itself, or items that are associated with your Amazon MP3 account. If not, of course, the ones we're using here are stored locally. When you're playing a song, it displays your usual things. The interface is nothing really different. The album cover, track information, on-screen controls, the same usual thing you find on any Android smartphone. If you happen to go back to the home screen and run a different application, you can still gain access to it in the home screen panel and jump right back in. Very easy. As far as the audio quality, it's definitely strong, powerful, doesn't crackle loud setting, and it's definitely pleasant to our ears. Using the Amazon Silk browser, the neat thing about it is it's similar to what you find with Opera or some of the other third-party web browsers out there, where it actually does a lot of the rendering on a server, so it doesn't consume as much data. So it's really quick to load up complex web pages like ours here. You have Flash content enabled too to give you that desktop-like experience, and for the most part, it definitely is more than manageable. Of course, the performance can be inconsistent sometimes. Sometimes it could be rather choppy, or it could be smooth, but it gets the job done. It's just nice that it has that functionality for something that's primarily geared as an ebook reader. As you can probably tell with the keyboard here on the Kindle Fire, it looks very familiar to what you find in an Android smartphone. The only issue is that it's very cramped. Even in landscape, it just seems like there's not enough spacing. On top of that, sometimes it could be responsive and other times it could be crawling, so it's rather inconsistent with that area. Another thing we do like is the fact that numbers are incorporated to the top row, so you can just do a long press and get numbers in. As far as other punctuations and numbers, you got to go to a separate layout. As far as the portrait style goes, it's a little bit better just because our thumbs are able to encompass the entire layout with no problems at all. Mainly because it isn't a full-fledged tablet, an Android tablet. Some people might be a little bit hesitant with this one just because you don't find the Android market available with it. But fortunately enough, Amazon's pretty kind to offer their own Amazon App Store, which allows you to download some of the more popular applications for Android onto the tablet itself. So you have that selection for you. Might not have all the entire offerings with the Android market, but you get some of the popular ones. For example, here you could take a look. You have Angry Birds, Netflix, Hulu Plus, a bunch of different games, even some productivity applications, Adobe Reader, Quick Office for Pro. So you have a bunch of different things. Might not be as extensive as a standard Android tablet, but at least you have something, and it's of course better than nothing. So after loading some of our test videos, and we went to the video tab here, unfortunately under library it didn't show any of the stuff that we put on, but luckily thanks to the App Store that Amazon provides, we managed to download a video player here. And real quick, we're going to show you the quality. We have the video here encoded in MPEG-4 1920 by 1080 resolution. So 1080p, as you could tell here, it's moving at a good frame rate. Details are all right, and colors are nice and natural, and for the most part, it is an enjoyable experience. With its 4400 milliamp hour battery, it's definitely more than sufficient to handle our needs. In fact, after a day of using it, we still have 50% battery left with the device, so that's more than acceptable by any means. And for light users, you could probably get by close to a couple of days with a full charge. Hands down, the most attractive thing about the Amazon Kindle Fire is its $200 price point. It's so attractive at that level, considering all the functionality you gain out of it. The people that's going to impress the most is those who are big with Amazon. For example, if you happen to have a lot of content purchased with the Amazon MP3 store, if you're an Amazon Prime user, this is going to especially appeal to you the most just because it offers a lot of functionality around those services. At the same time, it works great as a ebook reader, and of course that's one of the key strengths with the Kindle Fire. On top of that, you have some limited tablet functionality. You have the web browser and app support, which is nice, but still missing out key functionality such as video out, the ability to actually shoot videos and photos, no cameras whatsoever, which are some crucial things that you expect nowadays from some of the full-featured tablets out there in the market. But for $200, definitely want to keep your eye out for it. So if you want to learn more about the Amazon Kindle Fire, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. This is John V. Thanks for watching, guys.